Hello, everyone. My name is Candace, and welcome to the King's Daughters channel. Um, a little bit about myself, real quick. I am the wife of an amazing husband, my husband Jason, and we have four extremely incredible children. We have our 9-year-old, our 7-year-old, our 4-year-old, and almost one. Oh my gosh, I can't believe this. I have an almost 1-year-old. Amazing. Well, I am doing this channel. I've been inspired a lot lately. Mainly because I should have been doing this a long time ago. The Lord put it on my heart. Oh gosh, when I was a teenager. More when a teenager and when I got into my 20s to do this. Not this, but like to use my testimony to speak to young women and boys. I mean, this really is for women, but this is really for everyone, I think, as well. It's not just for women, young women. But the Lord has put it on my heart to share my testimony and share who I am and how I now have my identity in Yeshua, Jesus Christ. So that's why I am making this channel, The King's Daughter. You'll get why it's called that here pretty soon. So I am going to share my testimony. I'm going to be just straightforward about what happened to me. It's not, it's more like PG-13 rated, just because of what did happen, what I went through. So I always start like this. I grew up being Daddy's little girl. I was. My dad always called me baby doll, and even to this day he'll still call me that. And my brother, I have one older brother who I love so much. He was my best friend growing up. And then all of a sudden, things changed. When my brother hit puberty, he went off, kind of did his own thing. And then when I hit puberty, stuff changed. It just did. I kind of went, I thought, I was kind of like, not the ugly duckling, but kind of close. That was just me, what I was thinking. And, as I got older, I started looking like my beautiful mama, my beautiful grandmothers. Oh my goodness. Oof, they were beautiful. And, so I started to develop a little bit and look a little pretty. I think maybe a little. And I became boy crazy. That was me, it was me. And I didn't have a lot of boyfriends. I had some, but it wasn't, it was like, it wasn't. Anyway. No, I had like little boy flings, especially, you don't really count them in junior high. Don't really count. At least I don't think they do. And then my freshman year in high school, we moved from Southern California to Oklahoma, and to Enid, Oklahoma. Yes, Enid, Enid. Love it, miss it. And that's when I was introduced to football. Even more so. California, I mean, I love California. It's not an exactly football state per se. Oklahoma is a football state per se. It is college football, hands down. So, and then high school football is a huge deal as well, like really, really big deal as well. So then until I was introduced to football players. Yes. Big buff guys. That was my thing. It was. Oh boy, it was. Still kind of is sometimes. My husband is very broad man, very handsome. Love him so much. Anyway, and so I like football guys, and so I was almost 15 when we got there. We moved to Oklahoma, and like something, especially it was when I turned 16. It wasn't for like a whole year almost. Like something, when I turned 16, something in me was like, I want more. I need more. I do. You see, like, I always grew up with Jesus as my best friend. You know, I received him in my heart as like almost like a baby. I really think that's how old I was. I was probably like maybe less than 2. I remember that. I do. I remember receiving him very, very young. And I always knew him as my best friend. That's, you know, Jesus, as a kid, that's how I think you get to know him as when you're a kid, is that Jesus is your best friend. And so, so when I turned 16, like things started, like something in me, it was weird. Like I was watching the movie, One Night with the King. If you haven't seen it, it's really good. It's about the story of Queen Esther, and it's a beautiful story. Really, the book is a lot better. It's like awesome, One Night with the King. But the movie was really good. The music is so beautiful and so, oh gosh, just so lovely. It really, really is like beautiful music in that show. And I hate to say it turned me on where I wanted to be loved. I did, and I didn't feel it. I wasn't feeling it at home. I wasn't. So by this time, I knew some football guys. I did. And I liked a couple. And there was one in particular I liked. He was only a year older than I. And one night, I'm going to be honest. I'm just going to be honest here, okay? One night, we were texting each other, and he says, do you want to do it? And I'm like, I'm very innocent. I don't know what. I'm like, oh, but it means he likes me. It means he likes me. And so I said yes. We planned it, and I planned it, and I cover a story, you know, I think I was going to a friend's birthday party, and which I was, and then it's going to pick me up, and I had told a cover story to my parents that a girlfriend was going to come pick me up, and yeah, and I lost my innocence that night. I did. I wanted to be loved, and physically I thought I was. But afterwards, I almost was starting to hit this depression of just, oh my gosh, what did I do? What did I do? I was saving myself. I was saving myself for marriage. What did I do? I had a purity ring. I meant it. I meant what I vowed. I meant it. Like, what happened? And so I started like beating myself up. And eventually, I was forced to tell my mom. And then my mom said, we gotta tell your dad. I didn't want to, but we did. And I remember I just remember we were sitting on the couch, and he was sitting on the couch. He looked, he was he was joking. I said, "Dad, this is serious." And he like joking, like, "This is serious." And I remember I told him, and his face changed immediately, like from this joking to this serious, like, oh, I mean, I can only imagine what was going through that, through his head. Like, I'm going to find him and hurt him, or worse. And that's what it looked like. That I honestly don't think he heard the rest of what I said. I think it goes, "I'm going to find his name. I'm going to find him." And in that moment, I never felt so protected in my life. I didn't. I felt very protected. I don't know if that's what I wanted, but that moment was something I needed. It was something I very, very much needed. And so, we went through this time period. My parents were being they weren't sure what to do. They weren't. And they honestly thought, we had church camp that summer. It was only a few weeks away, and they thought that, church camp would solve everything. And kind of did, in some ways. That's when church camp was when I told my brother. My brother knew the guy. And, so I thought I changed. I didn't. It was only a few guys, but I kept messing up. I did. Several more times after that. Because I felt like everything after that summer went back to normal. Like everything went back to normal. Like I said, I think my parents felt like that was going to solve everything. Church camp was going to solve everything. And so everything went back to normal. So did I. I went back to this looking. I kept looking. And it went on. This whole thing went on almost for an entire year. I didn't do it. It wasn't like a lot, but it was several times, and finally it was coming back to March, which was around my birthday. I was turning 17. I was a junior in high school, and it was just a choice, but I had been invited because my brother was going to that next year to go to a college weekend at Oral Roberts University in Tulsa, which is only 2 hours from me at the time, in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And I didn't want to go there. I wanted to go, where did I want to go? I wanted to go to, I think I wanted to go to, I think I wanted to go to OSU at the time, something like that, Oklahoma State. And I did. And so I was like, you know what? It's a good school. I can do the backup school. What the heck? It's not my first choice. And everyone's like, oh, they're going to spoil you. You're going to have so much fun. Just go check it out. And I did. And it was the best decision